Right, good evening. This is just a one-off. We have a snooker tournament, first to three, or best of five, however you want to describe it. It turns out there's actually three players in it. I thought there was only going to be the two, but the reason I'm doing it is because we have LS3, who's a wannabe snooker player. She signed up for the Virtual World Snooker Championships that start in a few days' time. But she's up against the defending champion Barkers, so we're going to have a look and assess LS3's chances. I wonder if she'll go down the same route most 9-ball players do when they come to snooker, where they don't necessarily have the strategy side of things thought out very well. We'll judge that as we see. Well, Barker's looking at the situation. There's not an easy route back to bulk here, so he may well take this pot on. He's got to just drop this in, and well, he was nowhere near that. Black doesn't go, I don't believe. It doesn't go from this side. You'd have to get really low on it. Well, LS3's trying to roll through for it. And she might just be on it. Yeah, that was tight to get there, but that was well done. I think you need to maybe tweak this cue ball a little bit, but this is danger of a foul. I'm not 100% convinced this is on. It's really tight. Yeah, see how these pockets are as soon as you touch them. Now the obvious danger here is that if any safeties start, then all the reds are going to end up over towards that black ball. So Barker's straight away is going to deal with that. Pots the first red of the match. Needs to have a look and see that when that black spots, that red there is blocked, so he may well just drop this in to leave an angle to pot the red and take the black back into this pocket, which he can do. Let's see if I can zoom out a little bit from the other end. So, in theory, the 147 is on. Now you could get into the reds right now, try and free up a few, but he's knocked a red into the side, which is always a danger. So that ends the break. And 7 points to LS3. Now, looking at this, she can play the safety, or she can put Barkers back in. I think I would be inclined to put him back in. And if LS3 is deciding, she has to put him back in, she has to have a look at that pack to make sure there isn't any plants on. Barker's looking to get back into bulk, and that's way too short. So Barkers doesn't really hang around VP4 at all, so straight away he's trying to find his line and length by just coming into the match room, which is always going to be a few minutes till you find that pace. Well, this is sort of in no man's land. Now the green takes you around the angles. You've got to make sure you don't snooker yourself behind the yellow or the blue, but you should have a red into the top left hand corner, or just around the corner for the red into the side. I'd be more inclined to take the one into the side first. That's just a bit too heavy. For both players, well, maybe she did play for this one. Could have played for the one in the side, but ended up going a wee bit too far. Now this angle on the black is perfect to stun into those reds and just open them, but it's also good just to drop through for the red that's at the back of the bunch there into this corner. So she doesn't need to go into them. Could also come back for that one. And now once this one goes, that frees up the other one there as well. Got to get the right angle in the black. And there's a mistake made. And I think she's got cover on that red. There's an awkward cut into the side. And of course you can't really play safe into baulk because you're leaving this red on at the corner. Good evening to Hairpig. Yeah, he's feeling inclined to have a go at this red into the side. Because, again, as I said, trying to play safe off that red up the table is likely you're going to leave something on. Well, this has not left anything particularly easy for LS3. She's got the red up past the pink there. And again, the danger is, you know, you pot the red, you're on a baulk colour. But if you don't get it, you're leaving the other red into the side pocket. Now, in my mind, Barkers should be too strong for LS3. But he's only going to warm up and get better, the way I see it. Wrong side of the blue to get up the table. He's got the red in baulk, which really I'd be getting rid of that first anyway off this blue. And that way, if you have to duck for cover, you can at least get to baulk. Use that yellow and green for cover if you need to. Now that black, it does go. He's having a look at it. It does go. And really, now he's on the red. Well, he doesn't want to snooker himself behind the black. That'll do it. Now he's on the red. That makes sure that that corner pocket's wide open. So it'll be another mistake from Barkers, and this time though he's landed on that top red. LS3 can clear the black straight away from this. Just got to roll through and go past that other red, or at least brush it if it needs to. Well, she's coming back, that might be a mistake. Yeah, you know, you just had to roll through, and you know, it's a surefire guarantee you're going to be on the black. And now there's the problem of getting the next red, and that was an obvious mistake there by LS3. Now she's got to find another route and get below these reds now, and this is why the game is so difficult. You know, you've got to get and make the right choice for a start. This is going to finish nice if it misses the red. And a fairly straightforward red into the middle pocket will be the recovery shot. Then get rid of the black. So the mistakes have come from Barkers as well. And these reds are sitting, and back in the day I would clear these up. It won't happen now, but that back in the day I would. And the standard in this tournament that's upcoming, there are players in this tournament who will clear this table no problem. Good evening to Brainful Out. Just to let you know, guys, I was looking at the sign-ups for this tournament and saw that LS3 had signed up and then Barkers had signed up. So I assumed it was going to be the final. But I think Christian signed up as well, or at least I think that was the name that I seen. So I'm only doing this match because this is the one that I'm interested in, to see what level LS3 is playing at in this game. Because of course you know I'm a tactical genius, especially at this game, and it's very interesting to see what the strategy side of this might take shape. Well, you're only ever going to see Barkers in the World Snooker Championship. I think he never comes any other time as far as I've seen. So this to him is just practice. But LS3 now has... this needs to bounce, this cue ball. That's a bit short. I mean, anywhere up above it was fine. Now the cue ball's leaking away. And... you know, playing it from the other angle, nearer the pink, it's a lot easier to get good on the red. Now the cue ball's just going to leak away. But that's a well controlled shot. Now the yellow is tight past the green, but I'm pretty certain it goes. Yes, it does. So this is a good opportunity for LS3 to win this frame. Now the angle's good in the black, it's all about the pace. Now all she's trying to do is get between the brown and blue here. That should be the line that the cue ball will go. She looks as if she's digging in here, or am I just misreading this from a distance? This is just a straight pot and just let the cue ball run out. Yeah. But again, she's missed the black. And these are, it has to be said, these are basic misses that's happening at the moment, and because I'm talking about the level of some of these players in the tournament coming, you know, they're not going to miss those. But it's a big change. LS3's been playing in tournaments all evening. She's been playing on the 9-foot pool table all night. Now I'm not quite sure what Barkers tried there, but he was a mile away from the yellow. I mean, it was nowhere near the pocket at all. So LS3's got off the hook, and she's now 20 in front with 27 left in the table, so she just needs the yellow and green, but they've got to check this cue ball up a fair bit to come back down for the green, and that's not quite as easy as it is in the 9-foot table. But that was well done. And this you just have to roll it into the pocket, give it every chance to go in, and that should seal the deal. Again, if you play these shots often enough, this green isn't difficult. So, mistakes aplenty, far too many from Barkers. Good evening to Semi-Pro. So Barkers is certainly going to have to get some practice in before this tournament starts. Yeah, what I'm saying is you know, this, as far as I'm concerned, is a final. Obviously, whoever wins this will go on to play, I think, Christian in the final. Let me have a quick look. Is it Christian that's in? I can't even remember the name that signed up. Yeah, it is. And Christian's in for a drubbing in probably about maybe 45 minutes time, or however long this match will take. But then that's all I'm staying for. I'm not staying to watch a bloodbath. So that was well done by LS3. I mean, the fact that she can pop balls is always an advantage. And Stubbs came in to have his say. Barkers is going to have to step up a bit here and maybe get LS3 involved in a bit of the strategy side of things here. Give her a few things to think about, because that's what I'd be doing. Well, again, a shot to nothing here on this red for Barkers. He can come around the back of the black. And blue or bulk colour will do. He's leaving it a bit short. So he's probably going to have to take the green, because that can bring him down the left here for that red to the right side of the pack. The problem after that is the black's tied up. Yeah, the black's no good. So pink's tied up, black's tied up. So there's a lot of manoeuvre in this cue ball to be done here to put any points on the board for Barkers. Now, one thing, again, I keep saying this whenever we do snooker, you've got to have a look at the pack before you make a move, and just see that there's nothing on, or if there is something on. Now, the obvious safety would be to just chip off the red next to the black and free the black up. But this is no man's land unless he thinks that no, there's nothing goes there at all. But I think I would have tried in some way to get down the right hand side of the table there, just so I could play the safety off the red next to the black and get back in behind the yellow, green and brown. Well, Stubb doesn't know that, well, I'm sure he's not that daft, but you know, real snooker players do have the leather pockets to protect the balls as they go into the pocket. Stubbs wanting black pockets, the same as a pool table. That's gone too thin. So Barkers is struggling here, and again, not too difficult red for openers for LS3. Now she's looking at this 3-ball plant. Now, I'd be taking the red up the table first of all. This red looks as if it's going to the jaw. It might go in the right side of the pocket. Well, she's got the red anyway. Now if you're going to be aggressive, you get into the pink. The only danger is that you're in danger of running off the pack of reds and actually going in off into that top right hand corner pocket. That's the only danger with this. And she missed it by that much. She actually almost missed the pack. The red has dropped in, so 6 points to Barkers. I don't know whether he's got much to go on here though. No, you can't see the red past the pink obviously, and there's not anything goes in this pack of balls. But if he has a quick look at that red will go. There's a lot more room in that red, but it's dodgy having to cut it, but it would go. But now he's ducked down for cover. Now when you're playing thin safeties back to ball, you can control the cue ball by using side on the cue ball to get a particular line. First, the thing is you want to avoid hitting a ball in ball, and that's not bad for length. And it's not bad at all because the left side of the table is blocked. That's actually a very good safety, because it's difficult to get this cue ball back to baulk on this shot. So Barkers is in a bit of trouble here. He's looking to try and come around and miss the red. That's a good shot. That is a good shot because the danger was running into that red up top there. Now again, before LS3 plays a shot, she really should have a look at what's going on up table. There is a shot to nothing on. That red there will pot. Let's see if she plays it. Yeah. Now all that matters now is the cue ball, and again not bad length in the cue ball, and once again it's got Barkers in trouble. Now you might have a look at those two reds. They're not dead set, but you can see some of that red in the left side there, the one in the left side, but that'd be desperation stakes to be playing that. Well, this is tough. He might be going for the old blast here, try and cut that red into the corner. Here we go. Well, he's umming and ahhing about it. But this is the thing about the strategy in snooker. You know, you've got to get your head right with these type of situations. Well, this is going to run back into the open, and well, if you pot the black will go in its spot. Incidentally, that bug is still in snooker. Steve's never going to fix it. I had one the other day there where there was a red near the spot. I potted the black came back on, and the black went on to the red as a touching ball, which obviously never happens in real life snooker. You don't get a touching ball when a ball's getting respotted. It can only go nearest its spot without touching the adjacent ball that's near the spot. And the bug is still there in VP4, and it's been there since day one. So LS3, again, you know, if you're not the favourite, if you think the guy that you're playing is a stronger player, but you're good enough to pot a few balls, and all you need to do is just keep making little scores when you get to the table, and then making sure that you don't go one pot too many. You know, you should be ducking for cover, protecting what you've got, rather than just having a blast at something that's, you know, less than 70-30 against. And it's much easier to leave your opponent nothing than just leave them an easy start. But that's an aggressive shot by LS3. Landed on the blue. And there's reds for the picking. And again, you got to watch if you end up taking that pink into the side pocket, it will spot, which is really one thing she should be trying to do next once she pots this this blue and the next red, is get that pink on its spot so the cue ball doesn't have to travel as far. Well, that's the one thing about VP4, we're not going to get any intruders throwing crap onto the table. We just have to put up with stub. Well, she's rolled a bit too far through for comfort on this pink ball. Would have liked to have been sort of staring it down rather than having to make the cut. So cue ball's running down into ball. She's trying to drop it in dead weight. That'll work. The only thing now is it's going to need a shot to get back out for a colour. I think she's dead straight. No, there's a slight angle. You can pot this red, put a wee bit of check on it. If you just want to drop through and play the pink into the right side pocket or come up high enough. That'll do. So once again, the angle that she's got in the pink is good for a stun. To stun down here, you're playing a two-way shot here to get on this red with an angle to get back up for the pink. If you don't go far enough on your this side of it, now you see, the shot to play there was a stun in my opinion, because you had the angle to stun the cue ball into there and play it as a two-way shot, and if you got that red you can get back up for the pink. Now she's having to play draw shots again. You see, this is where players don't quite have enough time at snooker to see these sort of little things to make your life easier. And I think that was a shot. It had to be the stun into the side to give yourself a two-way shot and deal with that red that's the one nearest us. Because that would have been a good red to get on there. She can still get on it now, but everything's from distance, and this is not generally the way the best players will do this. Now she's going to be stuck to the cushion. Now you see what I mean, now it's straight in the red. Again, you could roll through for the pink into the side, but now it gets tougher because the balls are all blocking one another. But the break is 33, and that's what matters. We're now looking at the pink. You see, now the one thing I'd be doing here is playing that green and dropping onto the vault cushion behind the brown. Now this is where LS3 sees the black and is trying to convince herself that the black would go. Maybe she's agreed it doesn't, so that's where you should be going, up to the green and dropping through onto that vault cushion. You don't have to be desperate to try and keep a break going. You've got to play the sensible shot. Well, she's gone the other way to use the green, but it hasn't worked. I would have played the green to drop through onto that vault cushion, because it's not even on the vault cushion. And Barkers can see the edge of the red. He could probably push the red onto the black and use it as a stopper and duck up the table. Well, again, he's not got the weight of shot. I mean, that's 2 foot short of where it should have been. So Barkers finds himself a frame down, and not exactly the best set up a table here to make a decent score if he does get a chance. Well, Barker's now nailed behind the green. Oh, that's a good hit. That's a very well played shot. Just caught enough of the red where it wasn't coming out into play. Oh, that's I thought it was going to bump the other side of the black ball there and be left on. It actually is still left on. This will cut. Wrong side of the blue. Now, you've got to look up table at how you get onto one of these reds up here. Now, they all go from this side. None of them go into the corner this side. So, the shot to get you there is really dodgy. And you would normally play the green, but the brown and yellow are actually in the way the path of the cue ball would want to take. So Barkers has done the right thing. You know, you've just got to know when to wind it in and not push the boat out and do something stupid. And that's pretty good for weight. And well, I mean, there's a dodgy red left on here, but it's easy to play safe off this one in the cushion. You just duck up the table, try and find a line up behind the green, and this time it's a bit too heavy. Now, again, looking at it from LS3's point of view, if you look at the red, that's the stopper red. So you can use that one to come back to bulk. The only danger is you've got to hit it thin. She looks as if she's lining up the cut. And she's got it. And I think she can certainly get the black. It's a little delicate cut in the rail, but the pink's much more inviting. Just needs to roll this in. She'll be on this red here. Doesn't need to do anything with the cue ball other than just roll it in and let the cue ball roll out. Well, the lead is building up here, and Barkers is in trouble. And that's the thing about this Virtual World Snooker Championship. LS3 doesn't have to be a tactical genius in this tournament. If she just plays right, the matches are so short. You know, it's very easy to be winning frames, especially if Barkers has been making some of the mistakes and misses he's had, and just capitalise on it. Just get it in bits and pieces. You don't have to try and impress everybody by making big runs. I mean, they will come. So the lead is 32, and with this pink to follow, that will seal this frame. Pink goes in, it'll be 38 with only 35 in the table. The only danger for LS3 is she's got to be careful that she does the right thing with this last red, because it doesn't go past the black, I don't think. And there's always the chance of a free ball. So she just got to be wise and get as big a distance between this cue ball and that red as possible. And again, there's a good line off this this red to come that way. If I can get my straight lines to work, to come this way and in here. She's banked it up the table. Not the shot I would have played, but using the pink will work. It's not a difficult hit, but of course the difficulty then is trying to keep the red safe. I think well, Barkers will take that, and LS3 has a big target to hit here, up and down. Yeah, he needs a snooker, but as I say, with the last red still in the table, that's always good. This frame isn't over as long as Barkers can manoeuvre this red into a spot, and there's decent cover down here if you can find yourself behind one of these vault colours. He's just got to be patient, and LS3 has to be aware of that. That's the thing, when you're in this situation where, you know, it looks good, you'll get your opponent needing a snooker, but when there's always that last red in the table, and the way these balls are set up, there's always a strong possibility of a free ball here. And this might be awkward. I think he's okay. Now, again, the shot would be to cut the red to the right rail and push it into the black ball and duck for cover. And the only thing is he's hit it too heavy and too thick, and it's come out off the not the 8 ball, the black ball, and LS3 has the one to take this frame away from Barkers. No, it's gone in, so it's going to be 2-0. I presume these are normal pockets, yeah. Well, Barkers now is at the point of no return. Yeah, I would like to see him. I would like to see Barkers giving LS3 something to think about. He's in a position now where he's going to have to be more cautious. I mean, you can be as aggressive as you want, but when you're 2-0 down, you're playing into the hands of your opponent. Unless you can really get a tab on that cue ball and put a hefty score together. Decent enough break off. Again, LS3 should be up the table having a look at these reds. And there isn't anything there. So the obvious thing is you can go around the angles and come into the back of red. You're going to leave a red on though, unless you drop it dead weight into the pack. Just trying to roll onto the red. And that leaves nothing on. Of course now Barkers may end up doing the same thing, just tapping here, because if he goes down table he's going to leave a red on. And this is what's going to happen until somebody makes a mistake or somebody gets bored and decides to lash out. And LS3, I thought for a second there, is looking at trying to cut this in. You've got no guarantee in any colour if you do this. This is something I would never do. And she's just reluctant to play the containing safety by just rolling onto a red. She's reluctant to do that, but it's one way of just protecting yourself. Well, I mean, you can have call a draw and restart this frame if you don't want to be taking a risk here. I think as long as both players agree, they can re-rack the table and start this one again. I wonder if the two of them are aware of that. I'm pretty certain you can. Well, there's definitely nothing on there. Now, trying to just drop behind the black ball. Now you're going to end up with reds going up the table or down the table, depending on what end you're looking at, but going to the wrong end of the table. Well, there's the bait there for LS3, red into the side. And the cue ball looks as if it might either hit or brush past that other red. And with any luck you'll be on perhaps the blue, but more than likely a bulk colour. Well, it did catch the red. It would have been on the blue, but she's missed the red into the side. It was not easy. So now Barkers has the first real opportunity to put something on the board here. Now straight away he's got a slight angle on this black ball, but there's a red to get on at the back of the bunch here. He doesn't need to get aggressive. Well, he's gone the other way, I don't know why. I mean, he could have just stunned up for this red at the back of the bunch. And he might have to jack up if he's trying to stun down for the black again. You see, this is ending up doing things at distance again. Wrong side of the blue, more than likely going to be the green. Let it run through and come down into the table. Now he's in better shape. So there's still four reds if you include the one he's about to play. There's four reds there. There's five if you include that one to the right of the pink. So there's points to be scored here before you start doing anything drastic. And this is the best ploy, I think, for Barkers at the moment, is to take what's there and then worry about opening the reds if he gets that chance. Now he's fell short. because where he wanted to be was there on this red. He's left that short, so now he's got a bailout ball. And he's got to dig in just to watch he doesn't go in off into the top corner pocket. But doing that, he's probably put a bit of spin in the cue ball and missed the red. So the mistakes are plenty here. And there's nothing that Barkers is doing is going to scare anybody in this upcoming tournament, because he's making far too many errors. Good evening to Bondi Baby. Yeah, just for anybody who's watching, we're just covering this match, and then I'm going for a coffee and probably going to bed after this. There will be a final after this, provided Christian is there, but poor Christian's in for a drilling no matter who he plays. I mean, I haven't really seen a lot of him, but looking at his rating, it doesn't suggest that he wins all that many frames of snooker. So again, this is exactly what I was saying about how LS3 has to play this table. You know, if Barkers is going to make the mistakes, LS3 just needs to put, you know, 15, 20 on the board and then duck for cover. Doesn't have to do anything risky, because that's still building up a little score. But in the meantime, she's got to get rid of the deficit first. Now, this is where the professionals in the game would be potting the red and getting down for the blue. Again, there's still one red at the back of the bunch, but if you get the right angle in the blue, you can have a smack into the pack of reds, and that's gone a bit straight. But there's enough angle just to stun off this and come down here onto this red. Just got a bit of draw on it, little stun, and come down. At least you get off the cushion, and that's fine, because now you can pot the red, and really you've got to look at getting squarish on this black ball, or leaving yourself high in the black so that you can go off the top rail, and this is going dead straight. So this is no good. So now what you do is you take the points, leave yourself on that red there and duck for cover up table. That's what you do. I mean, the red will go up into the top corner pocket, but again, that's just being over ambitious. Now, you see, that again is not what I would have done, simply because now you're either rolling into the bunch or you're going to bring reds out into the open. The easiest shot she had there was to just roll the black in and skim off the red and duck into bulk. That's what Barkers is going to do. And he's got to get this red nice and thin. And even if he brushes the green on the left side of the green, he'll see he's hit it full on. The idea there was to hit that half ball and try and drop in behind the brown. So just a little bit of questioning of LS3's choice there, but she's going to win out on it as far as that goes, because the reds come out into play. I think the one thing about snooker is you've got to see the bigger picture and duck when it's the right time to duck. But good red to start her off, and once again the angle in the pink is perfect just to drop through for the red at the back of the bunch, or the one that's nearest the cushion. And it's going to be the one nearest the cushion. And she's got herself a 12-point lead. Well, I mean, again, we know LS3 can pot balls, That's what I've said. But as I say, the only thing I'm more interested in is the thought process that LS3's got. Because there are times, I mean, just recently there, just the type of safety shot she was looking for. There was one way of doing it, she didn't do it, but it would have been the way I would have done it. But, you know, snooker is very much a learning process. The pot and ball side of things for a lot of players is fairly straightforward. But, no, I mean, pot and balls is fine, that's what I'm saying, but what as I say, for your prospects in an upcoming tournament, you can't be a stub one-dimensional player where all you want to do is pot balls. There's got to be situations where you have to react to it in the right way. And now, this is looking good, albeit there's a testy little cut in the red here. And this is going to catch a fair chunk of the pink. But if you brush forward, if you push forward here, at worst you'll have a shot in the black. And maybe a yellow. Oh, she was on the... sorry, my apologies. I'm too busy looking at the lady table, I didn't even notice she was on the pink. I thought she was on a red. It's that time of night again. Well, if you play the red into the side to get on the black, there's a fair chance you may well leave a shot on here, but going the other way and ducking down for a bulk colour isn't a bad idea this time. You know, cutting that red into the side. And that's well done. Well, this is simple, you know, just a little roll in. You've got to just decide whether you're going to leave yourself short of the blue or behind the blue. I think behind the blue is the better shot, because that can allow you to either come back up for the blue or go through for the black. Let's see what she does. Well, she's gone through. That will do. It's on the red at the back of the bunch there, or the two together. Now this is just again a little roll through off that red for the black. See, it's littler than you think, because that cue ball will roll on. Now once again, you can play this as a little stun, or you can just run through, but you've got to run through far enough so that you don't block yourself off here. I think the red goes anyway, that'll do it. So the run goes to 33. There's a lot of good things about LS3. As I say, you have to have every other aspect of your game in this game if you're going to go deep in the tournament. The potting and scoring, I didn't have much doubt that LS3 can pot and score. But she's certainly causing trouble for Barkers, because it's a 39-point lead, and the blue going in is 44, and an easy red to follow, and it's game, set and match to LS3. But I have to say, I've been disappointed with Barkers. You know, he's again for reasons as well that he probably doesn't. There's no way he gets the table time. He's probably busy working and all that sort of stuff, and only really plays in this event last year as a sort of pastime, just to see how well he would do, and he won the thing. But he was playing at a much better level last year than he has done tonight. And that should boost LS3's confidence for the upcoming tournament, so I don't think there's anybody should really fear. Just got to do the right things at the right time and know when to make the move and when not to make the move. That's the only thing that I would advise her. You know, don't stick your neck out in the block and trying to be impressive. or overly impressive. Just take what you can get, and if it looks as if it's 50-50, then there are times when it's better to duck and leave your opponent in trouble. And it's a nice little break. Now, can she clear the table? That's the question. Well, this is tough. It's tough, but it does go. I mean, this is comfortably off the rail. And that's nice. Is it going to hold the line? No. So the break ends on 56. And it's game, set and match to LS3 by 3 frames to 0. Well, Barkers is a wake-up call, because he can't be playing at that level with all the mistakes he made and expect to defend his title, because LS3 was doing what she does, and she will pot and she will score. As I say, the strategy side of things, when she gets in the mix, that's what I'm interested to see, because that will make you a solid player to give anybody trouble. I think Barkers in some ways capitulated because his safety wasn't good. He was hitting things a bit too heavy, but the thing is you've got to be good enough just to take the advantage of that, because that's what it's all about, and LS3 did that. So well done. I think, is Christian there? Let's have a look. LS3's in the room. I don't know whether Christian is here at all. I would be surprised if he is. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about, Brainful Out. You know, if you leave her those chances, see, the problem for a lot of players is in snooker that they're desperate to stay at the table. They're desperate to keep scoring. If they're on a little run of 20 odd, you know, they're desperate to keep the break going, to try and see if they can get it as high as they can, when the right move is to wind it in and keep it tight. It's a strategy that is maybe not the most exciting to watch, but it's not about how exciting you are to win these big tournaments. It's how you do it that matters. And I think she's got enough scoring ability in her to cause trouble for anybody. And I mean, that's her beat the current world champion 3-0. But I have to say, it was, you know, it wasn't impressive. It wasn't really a match in that sense. So here's hoping for his sake that he can get some table time in, wherever it might be, more than likely offline, and up the stakes a bit, because the quality was not there. And he may well just, I mean, goodness knows when the last time was he played some snooker. He may well have just came in tonight and he hasn't played it for a fortnight or more. That we don't know, but it certainly looked like that, the way he was going. Well, anyway, if you want to watch the rest of this, because I think LS3 could be heading for 2-3-0 victories here, with the greatest respect to Christian, because the two of them are in the final. So I am off for a coffee. Thanks for those that are watching. Keep your eye on Barkers and put the word about that there's nothing to fear. There's nothing to fear after seeing that tonight. But there is a few things to think about when you're playing LS3. And she's dangerous if she's given that opportunity. Well, that's the same in every game she's been playing recently. And it's all part of the learning process. It's a big jump to move from that 9-foot table up to the snooker table, but she did well enough tonight to take Barkers out of the equation. Yeah, you will. The only thing you're going to have to be more wary of, LS3, and this is the only thing that I go on about, is just knowing when to make the move and when not to. I think Barkers was the architect in most of his downfall for a big chunk of that there, because his safety wasn't great. He missed far too many shots. But if you have the all-round game and you've got decent safety and everything, then you'll cause trouble for anybody. You know, that's one thing about it. You know, don't be going in here fearing anybody. It doesn't matter what the reputation is. The races are so short that yeah, I was rabbiting away and I didn't even realise you were on the pink. I thought you were on the red. But see, the races are so short. I mean, look at that tonight. That's 3-0. And I think it's only, what, a race to 6 in this tournament. These guys will be shitting themselves, I'll tell you. So they will. So well done. Barker's back to the drawing board and come up with a game plan for how he's going to defend his title. Because that was not good enough, I'm afraid. Certainly there's a lot better than that going to be in this tournament. And Barkers will realise that. I would assume he would put in a bit of table time. So good luck in the final with Christian. Thanks all for watching, and we'll bid you good night.